Yo guys, what's going on? I figured for this video, let's go ahead and take a look at every single character's active skills and see if we can learn just a little bit more about every character, since we kind of did like a breakdown, but it was only really just the passive ability and whatever Twitter kind of gave us. So now that the game is kind of currently playable, we can actually go and take a look at the actual characters. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's start with Super Saiyan Goku. So basically, from what I'm understanding of the actual kind of like stat page here, it's letting you know between simple and complex, like how easy or hard the character is to use. And so Goku is pretty simple. I mean, I think that kind of makes the most sense. He's going to be the one that probably people can play with and understand, like pretty simple without actually like, it getting to the point where it's too complex. And I'm literally using the words, by the way, that they just kind of put up there. But basically, he's just a simple character to use. But on the top right here, it shows energy, mobility, strike, and then strike resistance, energy resistance, obstruction, and support. It's pretty obvious that he wouldn't have much in energy resistance and strike resistance, given that he's not like a technical character. He's not like a tank character, right? He's made for damage. So top right and the top left is energy, strike, and then it's what? Mobility in the middle. Mobility, I'm going to imagine that's probably somewhat speed. And for a damage character, they probably should have high speed. To be honest with you, a damage dealing character should probably have those top ones like pretty high out. That's kind of what they're made for. And he has really high energy and really high strike. And again, it kind of goes all between those three. But that kind of makes sense. Basically, his description is saying, a hero great at closing in on foes, dealing damage with powerful striking energy attacks. He can use his Kaioken to instantly increase his battle power, which we kind of know about that a little bit. His growth type, from what I'm gathering from growth type, that's basically just explaining throughout the beginning of a match to the end of a match, kind of where he gets his power. How does he kind of work? Is he, better more earlier? Maybe he's more like a late bloomer, like it says, or kind of just like an average in between or whatever. So I think that's the best way to kind of describe like what they're going for that. Let me click into this. Let's go ahead and jump into the actual abilities here. We know that he transforms Super Saiyan, right? You have to get to level 7. And once you get to level 7, you can go ahead and transform. I used to think that in the beginning that this was only when you die, you would come back to this, but I was completely wrong. That is not how that works. As soon as you get to level 7, you can go ahead and get to Super Saiyan. And then we talked about his passive ability before. It's Violent Rage. When an enemy hero defeats a nearby ally, that hero becomes your target of anger, putting them in a discovered state and boosting damage for a set time. So he's obviously going to be good to run. Like that thing with this game too is you do want to kind of always be next to your team. You should be next to your team. I think what most people are doing is they're splitting up, going 2 and 2. Two go up top and then 2 go down below. So like you should never really be too far, but as a damage dealing character, I feel like your job is to also kind of like go out there and like go for the other players and whatnot. But ideally, right, with him, it helps to be next to your ally because that will trigger if they die, right? He's going to get that buff. That's a really good thing to have. Everybody has a rush attack. His is just a strike-based combo for his rush attack. And then he has Kamehameha, launches energy in front of you. More damage the closer it is. So you do want to, if you can, you want to land this close because it's literally letting you know the closer you are, the more damage it will do. And then it says add Kaioken for extended attack, expanded hitbox, and movement speed down, which makes the other player get kind of really screwed over by having that movement speed down because then they can't really run away. And then you could just get the opportunity to do like a hammer jump and get into them and hit them up. But speaking of that, we'll go into hammer jump. It says it's a rush-based AoE attack. More damage closer to center. Interesting. Add a Kaioken for a shockwave that applies stagger. See, that's what's fun about this Goku. When you add in Kaioken, it's kind of like it tweaks both of his other active skills. So I like that a lot. Speaking of Kaioken, apply strike attack up, all defense up, and movement speed up to self. That's, again, all good, which is why he had all of those things up. His energy, his strike, and his mobility. This helps for pretty much all of that. And then, let me see. Temporarily applies a strike defense down to self once this effect wears off, though. Which, that kind of makes sense if you know how Kaioken works. So that's the only downside to that, so just keep that in mind. Spear Bomb. Launches a huge energy blast. More damage closer to center and the more ally. Hold on. Launches a huge energy blast. More damage closer to the center and the more allies. Interesting. So the more allies you have around you when you drop this, it does more damage. And added Kaioken for an explosion and more damage. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever applied Kaioken to this. I don't even think I thought about doing that. That would make sense, and it sounds really cool now that I'm thinking about that. But this is something that's really good to do. Let's say everybody's together, whether that's trying to get the Dragon Ball at the end or trying to take down a God of Destruction. That makes a lot of sense. That's probably the optimal time to drop that, right? Especially if you want to get the most damage out of it. And obviously pairing that up with Kaioken. Cool. Let's check out the next character. Super Saiyan Vegeta. He's a little bit past simple, it looks like. Ooh, well, he's a tank character, right? So it makes sense that his strike is not as high, His mobility is not as high. His energy is somewhat high, but he has way more resistances. Energy resistance for sure. He's a very energy-based character. And then he has some good strike resistance, some obstruction support, which kind of makes sense for what he does. It says this hero can restore his toughness by attacking foes, letting him stay on the front lines longer. His skills let you forcibly move enemies and keep attacks and hitboxes active long to dominate the battle. He is considered more of like a late bloomer. So he is someone who just gets much better by the end of the match. Let's check out his abilities. We know Super Saiyan Transformation. His passive is Princess Pride. Applies a reduced cooldown to yourself when your life is at 50% or less. That's actually a pretty good thing. A cooldown to be able to just keep chucking out your abilities is like optimal in this game. I can't stress that enough. Again, everybody has a rush attack. His is strike based. Let's see. Active skill 1. He launches an energy blast barrage. Restores your toughness upon hitting an enemy, which is probably good because that's probably just indicating like putting up your defense and whatnot. He can move and adjust direction during barrage, and it turns into an AoE attack at skill level 3. Interesting. AoE attack at skill level 3. Super. Interesting. Okay. Photon Bomber. Exclusive, bro. Bro, I just woke up, so I'm a little all over the place. Explosive energy blast attack that cuts off energy rush attacks. So like, here's your rush attack, right? And energy, so someone who has like an energy rush attack, I think it's Krillin so far that I've saw, and blanking his name, Piccolo. I did not know you can cut off their attacks with that, and forcibly moves enemies towards the center of the explosion, causing more damage closer to the center. So you want to obviously land enemies within that in the middle to do the most damage. But I did not know that cuts off energy rush attacks. So that's good to know. So keep that in mind, right? You use this against someone like a Krillin or a Piccolo that has like energy rush attacks. He's going to be able to cut that off with that attack. I did not know that. I have not been reading. This is the first time I'm reading all the kits with you guys. So bear that in mind. That's interesting to know. And then explosive wave. It sets off explosion around. Bro, I can't read. It sets off explosion around self, right? It restores your toughness and forcibly moves enemies outwards. By the way, toughness. Now that I'm just saying it out loud and thinking about it, because I've seen him heal up. I think toughness just means healing up. I don't think it's not so much defense. I think it's more so that's what they're using for like healing. I think because I've seen him heal. I think off of. I feel like I've seen him heal off of this move before. That's why I'm like, interesting. Someone can correct me down below just to make sure I have that correct. But I was saying it's defense and it could be defense, but I do think it actually might be healing too. Either way, restores your toughness and forcibly moves enemies outwards upon hitting an enemy. The effect is boosted the closer enemies are to you, which makes sense. And then there's Big Bang Attack. I love this one. Looks so cool. An energy blast that sets off a large explosion, restores your toughness upon hitting an enemy, which again, I think it's just more life. Damage and toughness refill boosted. The refill is boosted the closer enemies are hit to the center. Yeah, all of his moves are very much like you want to like nab the enemy like right in the middle of this, whether that's like an in-game, regular chump enemy, and then there's the actual rival heroes. So yeah, he sounds like a lot of fun to play too, man. All right, next one is Krillin. All right, let me see. He is a in-between simple and complex. He's very energy-based and very energy resistant. Everything else is not that good. I mean, his strike resistance is not that bad, but he's very energy-based. It says, an interference expert with invisible energy blast traps and smokescreen solar flares. Once you mark some enemies, you can then use guided attacks to mess around with them. So I did try out Krillin, and bro, I have to play with him more to get him down because I definitely wasn't using him correctly. I felt like I just definitely wasn't using him correctly. Plus, it doesn't help that like right now a lot of my matches I think are very much like bot based. So, it's hard to get a tell for like, when I'm playing against actual players, like am I playing good with them? Because you can start like destroying in this game and then like, I feel like it is sometimes I think it's just bot matches for the most part. But either way, I did try him like twice. He was fun to use, except I do think I need to learn him more, but let's read into this. Passive is Technician. Instantly reduces cooldown time when you mark an enemy. Question is, how do you mark an enemy? Oh, okay. Now we're going to get into it with the active skills. His rush attack, it fires an energy blast combo. Third attack is a boosted energy blast with more damage and extended marked status. So when you mark an enemy, your rush attack, especially that last hit, is going to help extend the mark status. And you want to keep the enemy marked because it instantly reduces his cooldown time. for his skills. So just keep that in mind. That's cool. I like that his rush attack has a little bit more extra to it than just like, you know, just a energy blast combo. There's more to it. I like that. Active skill 1. He places an energy blast that becomes invisible after a certain period of time. Explodes when touched by an enemy or an enemy hero's energy. Oh, interesting. Okay. Giving them marked and shrink field of view, which is really good. But getting them marked is the most important thing. So now you know this active skill gets them marked. And then his second active skill, an intense beam that applies blind. This is solar flare. A blind, marked, and all attack down to enemies facing Krillin. The more effect, the closer they are. Interesting. So it's not just, so it's blind. He does get them also marked when doing that. And then all attack down for anybody who is basically targeting him. So that's really good too. Scattering energy wave. Fires a controllable energy blast, scatters and falls upon touching something or when the command is re-entered, generating smoke. Yeah, I've seen this. This is a pretty interesting move too. After scattering, it homes in on the marked foes. That I did not know. So whoever is marked, you do this move out, and it's gonna make sure it's gonna home in on them. But this is a good one too. This is probably one of his like better moves, I feel like. But I mean, obviously, these two are obviously really good too. This was actually really good. But you want to definitely make sure you are marking them down. This one. Yeah, this one doesn't. So keep in mind, this doesn't mark enemies, but it does home in on the ones that are marked, right? So like you can't toss this out and it's going to home in on them. Just keep that in mind. But his other two active skills does. So place energy blast and solar flare do. So you definitely want to be chucking those out and making sure these people are getting marked. And then destructive disc fires circular energy, additional damage for center hits. A lot of people like you want to hit in the center. Targets marked foes, which is good, and deals more damage on enemies with 3 or more debuffs. Damn. Which one does the most? I think it was this one. Yeah, this one does blind, marked, and all down. Damn. If you hit him with a solar flare, that's giving him 3 different debuffs already. Then hit him with a destructive disc. Boom. You're gonna be doing some good damage. All right, cool. Krillin is fun.
All right.
I had a lot of fun playing with Piccolo, dude. Piccolo is potentially my favorite unit right now to play as, I think. I'm really, because his special beam cannon, it can practically one-shot, man. I have to try to get a match with him for a video before his trial goes away, because I currently have him as a trial. But he seems really good. Okay, and he's more of a complex character too, it says. He's not like the most complex, it says, but he's up there as a very complex character. He's also energy-based, which makes sense, and he has more energy resistance. His mobility is pretty high too, but his strike game is terrible. And he has like a little bit of like resistances and some obstruction. But he is a damaged character too. This hero fires powerful long-range energies from a distance that allows him to dominate. His magic whip fist lets him instantly change sniping points, aim his devastating special beam cannon well to wipe out the entire opposition. Dude, that move clears so well. It's so strong. He's an average growth type good, so he's not like too much of a late bloomer, which is, I think that's kind of a better thing in my opinion. I think I prefer to use a character that doesn't like heavily rely towards endgame. So I mean, you know, it doesn't matter. Either way, by the end game, most people are pretty strong and powered up and everything at this point. His passive is ready for victory. Instantly reduces cooldown time when you attack an enemy with a rush attack. That's so good. And his rush attack, like I said before, is energy blast combo. It's an energy-based one. The 5th attack is a boosted energy blast with just more damage, okay? He gets light grenade, fires a powerful energy blast. And then explosion on impact at skill level 2 and up. So as you level that up, it's going to deal obviously more damage. More damage and expanded explosion range the further it is from you. So opposite to other characters that we've seen, he's more better at being further away and obviously chucking out this move. It's literally letting you know it's going to have more range and more damage when you do that. Demonic floating blast fires energy blast into the sky that fall when enemies enter the AoE or when the command is just re-entered. Gives enemies movement speed down. I think movement speed down is super good. And the thing is, with his rush attack too, he gets such a wide range for his rush attack that you obviously land somebody in this, you could just start spamming them with the rush attack afterwards, because like they're gonna have a harder time to escape from you. And I'm telling you, dude, his range with his rush attack is crazy. It's crazy range. But cool, that's good to know. And you can kind of control when these drop, whether you leave them up for someone to run into or you drop them whenever. I like that. Magic Whip Fist. It stretches the arm out, touch an ally, enemy, or a wall to be pulled near it. The next rush attack is a powered up energy blast for more damage. And interesting. So basically you do this whether that's to dodge, get closer to an enemy, get closer to an ally, and then you kind of spam with the rush attack afterwards, and this is going to deal more damage. That's a good combination. And especially with cannon, I'm telling you, this move absolutely destroys, man. It says fire energy that penetrates enemies and walls. That part, I guess I did not know. The walls part, interesting. Continued input consumes stock for more range and damage. Yeah, you can hold it down for a stronger damage. Interesting. And I'm gonna say I haven't talked about this, but it does say like underneath the skills, like underneath life grenade, it says like level 8. I'm gonna assume that means like the skill itself gets kind of like buffed up and gets stronger, right? So it says explosion on impact at skill level 2 and up. So I think that's kind of what that's kind of implying. At level 8, it looks like this levels up. Same for all of them actually. Special beam cannon, for example, levels up. It looks like at 5, level 8, and then level 11. Keep that in mind. All right, next character, Damasu. He is in between simple and complex. Interesting. He has really good strike resistance. His energy resistance is pretty good too. But I mean, his energy, strike, and mobility is not that bad. It's not like that much lower than I thought it might be for a tanky character. So that's good. He can be. It says he can build his regen gauge for overwhelming endurance, attack non-heroes to build the gauge. Then what the hell does that word say? Then stymie? I don't know what that means. Stymie your foes from an infallible position. That's too smart for me, bro. Growth type. He's precocious average. Like boom, he's an average. So again, that's kind of another reason why I probably like using him. He's fun. He's a fun time to use too. He's another average person, not late game. Body regeneration. He boosts his regen gauge when attacking enemy NPCs, bosses, super bosses, and gods of destruction. This is consumed to automatically heal as needed. Also resurrects you when KO'd if gauge is high enough. Again, that's so good. I can't stress enough. You practically have another it's basically like another life almost. Like he's too good for that. Let me see. What does it say again? When attacking enemy NPCs, bosses, super bosses, gods of destruction. And he boosts his regen like that too, and right, and he comes back, automatically heal as needed, and resurrects when he dies. Yeah, it's so good. And then his rush attack is it's chop-based combo, which I just gonna align that with strength. I mean, it has the fist there, or melee, right? I'm gonna align that with melee. Heavenly Arrow launches an energy blast barrage. You can move and adjust direction during the barrage and applies movement speed down upon hit. That's really good. Divine Rush rushes and strikes with hand, forcibly moves enemies upon hitting them. Range of force movement and damage boosted closer to the core. Yeah, I realized when I use this move, it is mainly to just like push an enemy somewhere. Like if I want them to get away, whether that's from them trying to attack like our God of Destruction or something like that, that's when I was mostly using this move, right? It's really good, obviously doing damage, but also just to push people away for whatever you might need to do it. Maybe they're going for the Dragon Ball, and you land that and push them back, and then do your best to stop them and push them back. It's a really good move to just literally do that. Is to just kind of push people back. I like that. And then Fierce God Slicer mows down enemies around you, applying continuous damage. Actually, I did not know that part. And then more damage closer to the center. Also releases Energy Slash when launched. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I never knew that, so that's good to know. And then Zero Mortal Plan. An Energy Blast attack dropped around you. More damage closer to the center. Creates movement speed down AoE in area where Energy Blast falls. Again, I can't stress it up. Movement speed down in this game is so crucial. It's so good. So anybody that has that, I feel like, is really good. All right. I don't think we have too many left, right? Gohan, Trunks, 18, Boo. Never mind. We have quite a lot left. So give me 1 second. Quick little detour here. I had to go do something, but here we go. Gohan. Gohan is the next one. Gohan he's really okay. I'm kind of shocked that he's a little complex. I'm not gonna lie to you. I felt like Gohan was pretty standard. Like you just want to run him next to people. But him being complex does actually now I got questions. Okay, so he does have really high mobility. Actually, he has pretty good mobility, and then he has really good strike resistance. And see, he has really good strike resistance and kind of somewhat energy resistance. It says team up with your allies and power up with a buddy boost, working hand in hand to support the front line. He can also pack an incredible punch by releasing his exploding rage. He's known as an average growth type character. Let's check him out. I know this from the Twitter breakdown that we did. Friendship boost. Stay near an ally hero for a period of time to apply all defense up and movement speed up to self and all attack up to the ally. So again, he really get to work with people. His first attack is a combo strike that applies. Oh. He applies a strike defense down to enemies you hit with a rush attack 3 times. So if you hit him 3 times, He puts strike defense. Oh, so he's just gonna stack up damage on people. Oh, wait a minute. He has 2 super attacks? Huh. I did not know that. Interesting. Okay. Let me see. Masenko. Fires energy that forcibly moves enemies. Distance of forced movement increases the further they are from you. Okay, that's good. Let me see. The hell? Why am I... Masenken Kyaku? I don't know why I cannot pronounce that. But rushes and unleashes a roundhouse kick that applies no skills. Wait. Rushes and applies a roundhouse kick that applies no skills or attacks upon hit. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Applies no skills or attacks upon hit. I don't know. That's something I'm not too sure about. And it says range and damage boosted. Range and damage is boosted the longer you enter the command and applies stagger when charged to max. That first part I don't get. Applies no skills and attacks upon hit. I wonder if that means that the enemy can't use no skill or an attack at first. It could be that. And it says, leave this to me. It says, applies energy defense up and a buddy boost to self and allies. The subsequent barrier applies energy defense up to your side and energy defense down to the enemies. Damn. Oh yeah, he's a very like debuffing, buffing character base. Like that's his main thing. Like that's what he's doing. He's doing a lot of debuffing and buffing. And then he has 2 supers, which is kind of interesting to me. So he has exploding range. It says unleash energy around you, applying strike attack up to allies in range and strike defense up to self for a period of time. It says also boost the number of rush attacks. Interesting. So he'll do more rush attacks, which means it's probably a lot easier to just stack up strike defense down. That's actually really good. And a strike up attack to allies in range too. Yeah, that's all really good. And then Shattering Beam rushes and unleashes a kick that triggers a large energy explosion, and a stagger is applied to enemies that are kicked. I'm just kind of confused. I don't know if I've ever noticed like if these interchange. I've to be honest, I've not used them yet, so that would make sense why I'm not too sure how this works. But definitely check that out. He sounds really good, and again, he's a very debuffing and buffing based character. All right, next up, Rugs. He is more of leaning towards simple. You see, he has very high strike, which makes sense, and high mobility, which is good. Energy is on the lower side, but he actually has a pretty decent, somewhat okay energy resistance. Again, he's damaged, so he's not meant to really do like any tanking or anything. He's average growth type. He says it's a hero that can deal huge damage to foes with his high mobility and wide range attacks. Overcharge lets him use skills that are still in cooldown, adding to his flexibility. All right. He gets a Super Saiyan transformation, and then overcharges his passive. So it says KO or assist on God of Destruction, enemy hero, boss, or super boss to immediately make skills 1 through 3 available if in cooldown. Yeah, we've seen this before. It's really good. So his rush attack is just straight up just slash based combos. It's the melee one. And then his first active skill, Burst Slash, a powerful slash that deals more damage the closer enemies are to you. So you want to do this close. It deals even more damage to enemies whose life is low. Ooh, so if you spam this when people's life are low, that's good. It's gonna do even more damage. Then there's Vanish Strike. Let me see how this looks. I don't have him yet, so I haven't been able to use him yet because I don't have him. So he basically just vanishes to the enemy, and so warp to unleash an AoE attack. Yeah, more damage the closer enemies are to the center though. Damn, that's good. And then Burning Attack fires an energy blast that explodes and generates smoke at the point of impact. I'm guessing the smoke is going to help as like some kind of like a diversion. That's cool that he has some kind of built-in like technical thing to him. If that's the case, I like that. And then Shining Slash, this is his super attack, sends out a slash and energy combo. More damage in the center of the AoE. Okay. And then direction can be changed during the attack. Applies movement speed. Oh, he gets a movement speed up afterwards, making him even faster. That's really good. Yeah, he's an all-around really good character. I mean, I said this before. I think Trunks is up there with like 18 as like one of the best like strike-based characters right now, or melee characters. I don't know why I said strike-based, but melee characters. Yeah, he's up there. I think he's really good.
Goku isn't the just how
18. Yo, I know she's a beast because I've said this before in her Twitter breakdown. Like you can just tell with her kit, she's a beast. I don't have her yet either. I'm still trying to work on getting these other characters, but I don't have 18 yet. But it's interesting that she leans more towards complex. I thought she might just be straight up a brawler, kind of easier to use. But she also has high mobility, high strike. She's very much like a Trunks here, except she's even higher. But Trunks has a little bit better of energy resistance, whereas she just has no resistances. She looks like she gets taken out very quick, very like Glass Cannon. It says her nimble combos are great for taking out individual foes. Rapidly approach an enemy and unleash a combination of skills and rush attacks to activate Assault Rush and deal a ton of damage. She's also an average growth type. So Assault Rush, strike the same enemy hero with 4 hits in a row to make that hero your assault target, and then you boost the damage your character deals to them. Ooh, she has more to her rush attack. So she does have a high-speed strike combo. After using a skill, next rush attack is a powered-up strike with more damage and range for a set period. Interesting. So after you skill, the next rush attack is a powered-up strike with more damage and range for a set period. She's just disgusting. Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, you're just dealing damage with her. I think she's just better. She might just be the best damage unit that's out there. Straight up. And she just does crazy damage off of her rush alone, not needing a skill, not even touching skills. Her rush is ridiculous. And then she gets the Structural Disc, launches a circular energy that deals more damage the less life your enemy has. So low life, she's just gonna chuck even more damage. It chases the last hero you attacked also. That's crazy. He gets Lightning Step. That's really cool. A rushing kick that applies no skills and attack. Okay, no skills. I'm guessing that means that it's kind of like a quick stun. They can't do any skills or attacks. That's what it sounds like. And I could be wrong, but let me know in the comment section. Let me see. It says more damage the closer the enemy is to entering assault target status, which is good. You want to get that assault target status up because that's really good. She's just gonna keep chucking out crazy damage when you do get that off. Accelerate Dash launches a rush attack. More reps added based on skill level and number of enemy hero KOs at the time of the attack. Dude, the more you kill, and the more you kill enemy heroes, it just makes her into a nasty, I don't know what I was gonna say, destruction. Oh yeah, she's like the destruction queen, bro. She's doing crazy damage. Yeah, she's just buffing her attack, man. She's really good. Heartbreaker, a powerful punch that applies stagger, deals more damage on assault targets, of course, and cooldown time reduced with every KO or assist. Wait, the cooldown time is even reduced with every KO or assist? I'm telling you, by end match, she's gonna be disgusting if you've destroyed and killed a lot of heroes, a lot of the enemy heroes. Yeah, I'm not surprised. She's really good. All right, Majin Buu. Oh, he's a very simple character to use. He is, I think he's technical, right? Yeah, because he's blue. Yeah, he's very technical, yeah, but he has a lot of support. That's his big thing. I was gonna say, he's not much, it doesn't seem like he has crazy, like, resistances. His mobility seems like to be a little bit okay, not really good with strike at all. If anything, a little bit better with energy, but he has really good strike resistance and support. He is average growth type. You see, it says the hero's life healing and obstructive skills support his allies and help keep your team in the game. Use his Candy Ray when the time is right to neutralize groups of foes at once. Let me see. Majin Menace, heal an ally or yourself or apply a debuff to an enemy hero to consume the stock you earned and boost rush attack damage. That's good. Let's see his rush. He is the energy-based rush attack. It says damage is boosted when you have Majin Menace activated. Okay, so when you get this off, this is just going to deal more damage too. There's Strangled Gum. Throw gum that applies all attack down and movement speed down. What did I tell you about movement speed down? Anybody who has that, and that's in combination with all attack down? Damn, that's good. Also expands AoE for taking attacks, okay? And then there's Healing Ray. Continually heals. Oh, that's like really good. Continually heals life of allies more the closer that they are, and self. Stops healing if allies are too far away. Heal more targets as the skill level goes up. Really good. Dude, multiple healing at once? Oh my god. And then it says Ready Go is a mobile attack that can be redirected and canceled mid-move. Applies strike defense up on self and no skills attacks on enemies and forcibly moving them as well. Yeah, so no skills attacks. At this point now, I think I've read it enough to get to how that works. That's basically for an enemy. That's a debuff on the enemy to make sure that they can't do anything for, I don't know how long, but it probably like momentarily just stops them from being able to attack or do any skills. And forcibly move them. I've had a bunch of boosts do this on me. It's annoying. It's really good. And then he has Candy Ray. Fires a beam that turns enemy heroes into candy and creates a life healing AoE. That part I did not know. I don't think I even noticed that. It's a life healing AoE for allies that heals more based on how many enemy heroes that are turned into candy. Damn, so if you land this at a point where there's like 2 or 3 enemy heroes, oh man, that's good. That's really good. All right, he's good. Yeah, I've said before, I think he's one of the better characters too. All right, let's check out Cooler here. He's another simple character, more towards strike and strike resist, strike attack and strike resistance. He seems like he's a very like average kind of character. I mean, he leans more towards having mobility, it looks like. I'm surprised for a tank. I think he's a tank character. Wish it would just straight up say it, but I'm looking at the color on this thing and I'm pretty sure that's tank. Yeah, he's green, that's tank, and then blue is technical, and then red is like damage. So yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Okay. He has a little bit of resistances, but he does have some good strike. It says this hero has a wide range of restraining moves to keep enemies from getting away. His immune to all effect associated with his activation of skills allows him to keep a hold as he keeps stymieing foes. Okay, his growth type is also average. He does get his final form when he transforms, and it says also when he transforms, it boosts Imperial Retaliation, extending the retaliation status. Basically, that move I know is a counterattack, but let's read it. Applies immune to all to self. Basically, I'm gonna assume that means you can't debuff them at all. Upon using skills 1 through 3. Hold on. Applies immune to all to self upon using skills 1 through 3. So all of this helps get Imperial Retaliation. When an enemy hero lands an attack during immune to all, you go into retaliation status, which basically means you do like more damage back. Basically, he has a strike-based combo for his rush attack. It's more damage in the retaliation status. Interesting. Yeah, so you go into retaliation status once somebody basically hits you when you have activated immune to self. So his first skill is Destruction Ray. Fires a beam that deals damage more closer. It does more damage when it's more closer. In retaliation status, though, he creates a pillar of fire in the beam's path that applies continuous damage. See, that's new. I did not know that. Wow, so when you activate Imperial Retaliation, that's going to buff all these moves. Okay, so Death Stopper, it creates an AoE around you that applies high pressure, which I'm not sure what that means, and movement speed down. Interesting. I'm not sure what high pressure means. Also staggers foes, executing a dash, okay? So it stops people from doing dash moves. And the AoE will last longer if he's in retaliation status. And then there's Death Chaser, or rushing attack. And this says in retaliation status, though, it applies hold to enemies and smashes them into the ground with a shockwave that applies movement speed down. Yeah, you want to get off. You want to get the so apply immune to all, right, when you're using your skills, and then as soon as you get hit and you get that ability to activate, then you get into then you get into retaliation status after getting hit when you get that activated. All your moves are disgusting. Atomic Supernova launches a giant energy that forcibly moves enemies toward the center and then explodes. Again, more damage to the center, and explodes across a wider range when he's in retaliation. Yeah, man, you get him into retaliation status, and everything is just better. Straight up, everything is just better. Even his rush attacks get better. All right, that's pretty much it. That's all the characters. Yeah, that's pretty much all the characters that we have for now. If you guys have any questions, drop it in the comment section down below. This is going to be a pretty lengthy video, but I just want to do all of this in one go because I'm trying to knock out as many videos as I can. Well, obviously I have time to play this, and so it's a little hard. But I mean, if you have any questions, you still don't understand a kit, maybe I didn't explain something right, or if I missed something, if I said something wrong, also correct me in the comment section. I want to make sure I got everything right. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm Lethal1Up. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.